Which you guys, now this laptop costs way less than it should. It's the CHUWI CoreBook Air. It's a brand new release from CHUWI. This is a 14-inch laptop, and the specs on it, as you can see at the back, this is a 16 gig version, 512 gigabytes of storage. This is everything you're going to get inside the box. You're going to get your user manual, your warranty card, and all of that sort of stuff in this little pouch. Then you're going to get your power adapter right here, and you're also going to get your power plug to plug into that adapter. Depending on where you are in the world, it will change the plug on your delivery, and there is the laptop itself. Now the power adapter is using a Type-C connector here to power the actual laptop. The power draw on this is 19 volts, 3.42 amps on this adapter. It is a switching adapter as well, so it can adapt the power. But you can see right here, there is the laptop as well. We'll take a closer look at all of the specs here. Now the laptop does support one-hand opening, and the weight of it is around about 1027 grams. Now the dimensions, as you can see, are on the screen, and the color is indigo blue. It does come pre-installed with Windows 11 Pro, but it will support Linux as well. It's got a chiclet keyboard, and the Sensi touchpad here is quite large. That's very responsive when you're using it. Now you'd think at this sort of price point they would cheap out on the keyboard, but the chiclet keyboard is quite good. It's quite responsive and it's soft to touch. You don't get a lot of clicking noise when you're typing, and I typed on it for quite a while to see how it would feel, and it was quite comfortable. It is backlit as well. You've got a couple of different brightnesses, and I'll show you that a little bit later on. You've got your function keys up the top here to adjust brightness and volume and all those sorts of functionalities that you normally change. The full specifications can be seen on the screen. So we have a 14-inch display, 1920 by 1200 by 16 by 10 ratio. The processor is a Ryzen 5 6600H. That is 6 cores and 12 threads. That is on the Zen 3 Plus CPU architecture. And the GPU is a 660M, which supports RDNA 2, which isn't too bad at this sort of price point. The memory is 16 gigabytes of LPDDR5. That is surface mounted memory, so you're not going to be able to upgrade your memory, unfortunately. I'll show you that a little bit later on. You can pause the screen and read these at your own leisure. We have a USB 3.2 Gen 1 Type A port on here, supporting 5G PPS, and a Type C 3.2 Gen 2 port on there as well, supporting 10 Gbps, and a 3.5mm audio jack. On this side, we have HDMI 2.1 port here that supports 4K at 60 Hz. And 2 more Type-C ports. One of these is obviously going to be powering the laptop when using mains power. You also have a little LED light there in between the 2 ports. On the bottom, we have some ventilation up the top here and a big anti-slip rubber pad to stop the laptop from slipping. And this is where your airflow is going to come in and out. On the front, we have 2 more anti-slip rubber feet and 2 speakers right here. We'll take a look inside the laptop a little bit later on, but I just wanted to show you down near the back of the hinge here, there is an actual exhaust vent. There's right goes around the back here, which is quick. You can see it there, and that's going to allow the heat to dissipate out the back of the laptop as well as the bottom. Now the thermals on this laptop was pretty good. The hinge is pretty decent as well for this type of laptop at this sort of price point. Now, when you're typing on keyboards like this, sometimes the screen can move around, but I can say that because of the stability of this, you don't get much screen wobbling like this. Now, it does flex a little bit when you flick it like this, and the screen isn't that thick. And I'll quickly flex it so you can see here. It's quite slim and thin, but that's also making it very lightweight. And I was expecting it to flex around a lot when I was typing, and it just wasn't doing that, which is a plus for people that type a lot. Now, there is also a protection on the camera here if you want to turn that off. That's also a nice added feature. We also have the microphone here, and the camera is a 2 megapixel camera. Nothing to write home about, but it's there. Pretty slim bezels for a laptop of this caliber. It's not too bad. You've got a thicker bit at the top and a slimmer one on the side here, but it's not too bad. And the quality on the screen is pretty good. Now you're seeing a bit of a coloration there on the screen, and that's my camera having trouble focusing So, but it does look pretty sharp. Another added bonus for this laptop is when you're setting up the laptop for the very first time, you're not forced to sign into a Microsoft account, which means you're allowed to be able to create a local account without being forced into a Microsoft account. Now, you can also sign into a Microsoft account if you want to, but this is just letting you get into a local account at the very beginning of the setup without having to try to bypass it. It's just there. Now, if you're wondering what the size of the keyboard is, I'll show you it with my big mitts. Here they are right here. It's quite comfortable, not a problem at all. So if you've got quite big hands, this laptop should be fine. And I did a bit of typing on it and I found it quite comfortable to type on. Now, I did promise to show you the backlit keyboard, and there it is right there. It has a couple of brightness settings here. Let me just push this function key here and we can turn it off to save battery, or we can go up a couple of brightness levels here and get it as bright as we can. It's a nice added feature at this sort of price point. Now, looking inside the laptop itself, there is your battery, and you can see the battery has a rated 450 milliamp hour battery. So that is 55 watts. That's a 65 watt fast charging, and the battery will last around about 8 hours of video playback. The memory is surface mounted. It's 16 gigabytes of LPDDR5 at 6400 megahertz. Also, we do have a 512 gigabyte PCIe 3.0 drive in there, but it is upgradable to a PCI Express 4.0 drive if you want to, which will obviously give you faster speeds. I just wanted to quickly cover the GPU because people are going to ask about graphics performance. It has the 660M featuring 6 computer units, and the clock speed for that is 1900 megahertz, offering entry-level graphics performance for light gaming and tasks. Now, also it does have RDNA 2 architecture, and that's shared with your system memory or RAM on the system. So bear all that in mind. So if you're looking for more memory, make sure you buy the next model up with more memory, like 32 gigs of memory in there rather than 16 gigs, because this is non-upgradable on the memory side of things. You can see them there near the CPU. The maker of the memory chips for the RAM is Rayson. Another nice added feature I think that CHUWI have done with their laptop is added in this dashboard, which gives you the specs of the CPU, the GPU, and the memory. And you can already see that it's also given you a nice little weather layout here, and also transition speeds for your drives and utilization on the network. Now, these sort of features are normally added into Asus and HP and Dell laptops, but they're adding it in on the CHUWI brand now, which is a nice added bonus. You can see the system information right here. If you need to find that quickly, you can do. And you can also go into the storage here, and it will tell you how much storage you've got and your battery. And you can see the health is excellent. So you can always check your battery and see how healthy it is. Going on to the system healthiness, you can run a quick basic scan right here. And you can even run a component test on all of the components here if you need to test those components to see if they're functioning properly. Now, also looking at the system optimizer here, you can clean up your space and you can optimize the system as well from here as well, which is a nice added little feature as well. You've also got your driver update center here as well, and your support if you ever need to get support for your device. You can go into the fax area here and the service and care center area here. This will give you all of the information you need to be able to get support. And there's your settings page here to change language, notifications, and the temperature of your unit. You can change that from Celsius to Fahrenheit if you're living in the States, and so on. So we've got Windows 11 Pro pre-installed on here. Another added bonus for this at this price point as well is an Office suite here. So let me go ahead and take a look at this so you can see it. It is activated. And again, this is pre-installed on the system. So let me just quickly see what version we have here for this particular software. And it's Microsoft Office Professional Plus 2024. So it's the very latest, which is also pretty useful to have if you're looking for a laptop for the young children or something to get into their first computer. This is going to be ideal. There's the information on the drive on the right. and the speed of that, the sequential reads and writes, is 3012.65 reads, and writes are 1292.88. Not the fastest in the world, but you can always upgrade that to a Gen 4 drive to get faster speeds if you need them. If you want to see all the specs on the CPU Z, you can see on the right, it will give you all the information about the CPU, the motherboard, the memory, and also the graphics and stuff like that. The temperatures here are pretty decent. There is an update running in the background, so the temperatures have climbed up just a little bit. But other than that, it is pretty good at idle. It's around about 40 odd, and I've got the central heating on because it's winter here, so the temperatures are going to be a little bit higher idle than normal. But I'll go through here and you can see the memory, SPD here. We know it's surface mounted memory, and we can also see the graphics here, and we can also see a benchmark. I want to do a quick benchmark here to test the CPU to see whether the temperatures get really hot and whether we get any sort of thermal throttling. So I'm just running a quick stress test here of the CPU, and the temperatures start to climb as you would expect. And we can see right here we're at 77.2, 78.6, and it will start reaching a point where it should start to calm down and cool on its own. But we don't have any thermal throttling here, which is a good sign. And I can already see that we're up to 84.8, 85.5, and this should now start thinking about coming back down, and the fan should be kicking in, and we should see the temperature start to drop. We're at 87.4. There's still no thermal throttling or any issues here, and you can see it's at 88.1, 88.2, and it's starting to slow down now, and it's found its threshold here, and it should start to come back down a little bit, and that's found its maximum. There we go. It's starting to come down, and we're at 87.8, and it's starting to drop back down. And it will do this. It will go up and down, and it's found that threshold right there. So you're getting no issues with heating from here. There's no thermal throttling or any sort of issues with overheating on this system. And that means the cooling on this laptop is pretty good, which is always a good thing. Now, I forgot to mention earlier about the Wi-Fi. It does have pretty good Wi-Fi connection. It's Wi-Fi 6 and Bluetooth 5.2. Let's do some benchmarks here. I'm going to do a benchmark on Cinebench to see what sort of temps we get and what sort of scores we get on this system. So I'm running a CPU benchmark here. You're never ever going to push this little laptop the way I'm going to be doing it in this video, but I'm just giving you as much information as you can so you can know how good it is. Single core score was 1,611 and the multi-core score was 5,724. The GPU score on Vulkan, and I'll quickly show you that right here, was 9,312. And I'll quickly run a Cinebench score here so you can see what the single core and the multi-core score is on Cinebench, because people always ask. So the single core score is 8,053 and the multi-core score was 13,099. So let's take a look at some video playback here so you can see. Now the video is Jellyfish 400 and Mbps. It's also 4K, Ultra HD, HEVC and 10-bit file, and you can see it plays that no problem at all, which is very impressive for this particular laptop. Now also this is a 14-inch IPS screen, which is full HD resolution with 350 nits of brightness, which is pretty impressive for a laptop that is under £400. And I'll show you all the pricing at the end of the video. So let's go on to 4K streaming. If you need this as a 4K streamer, it can stream 4K video at no problem at all. And the playback on this is really stunning. The picture quality is outstanding. It really is for this sort of price point. Now, where this laptop is going to come in, I think, on traveling, because it's super lightweight, it's only 2.2 pounds in weight, which means it's not going to take up all of your storage in your holdall. And that means you could be able to put clothing in there plus your laptop, and you should be pretty much good to go. And of course, with that nice IPS panel, you're getting really good picture quality as well, which means you'll be able to play back your movies while you're on flight. Another thing you can do is play some games. Now, I tried to test it at 1080p on this game and it struggled a little bit. So I dropped it down to 720, and it will work on some games at 720, no problem at all. And some of them you'll be able to get away with games at 1080p. but it's not sold as a gaming laptop. But I just wanted to put it to the test so you can see here. Now, what games it can play very easily is games inside the Microsoft Store. It will play these no problem at all. So if you're looking for a laptop for your children who want to play some games in the Microsoft Store, it's going to be able to handle that no problem whatsoever. It'll also play all of your retro games as well. And maybe you're not a Windows user and you like Linux. You could easily drop Zorin OS on here, or you can even put, say, Linux Mint or Catchy OS or one of those ones on here, and it will be perfectly fine. So how much does it all cost? Let me just take you to the website and we can take a look together. So the price for this one is £393.72. You have to calculate your shipping costs there. I just wanted to point out as well, I forgot to mention about the sound quality on this. It's pretty decent sound quality for this laptop as well, which means all your movies are going to sound great. $529, there's also a $50 off coupon there as well. And in euros, it's going to be 529 euros with a 50 euro off coupon down there as well. If I get any discount codes, I'll leave them in the video description. Just for full transparency, CHUWI did send me this for review. All opinions are my own. No money has changed hands, and no one is reviewing this video before it's released. My name has been Brian from briteccomputers.co.uk. Big shout out to my YouTube members. I appreciate the support. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.